Hello everybody, welcome back to the internet's best reactions. Today we are talking about the 2019 British Grand Prix. 5 years we've got extra of Silverstone in our lives, and did it deliver? Oh yes it did, and so did your reactions. The first 20 laps of the British Grand Prix has to be some of the best laps of overtaking action, of thrilling, scintillating racing I think I've ever seen. At Ysinner1012 mentions one of them, which is that Norris-Ricciardo lap 1 battle. You had Lando Norris in Australia looking quite tentative, didn't really want to go for the move on Giovinazzi, but then you go to Silverstone, race 10, I think it's race 10, and he's going side by side with Ricciardo into Copse all the way down to Maggotts and Beckett's. It is sensational stuff from the milkman. Something not so sensational was Haas and their first lap when Magnussen and Grosjean came together. I cannot wait for the second season of Drive to Survive for the Great Britain. For the Great Britain? For Great Britain, the Silverstone Great British Grand Prix. I am very tired. It's Monday after a very action-packed Silverstone Grand Prix, British Grand Prix even. At Painted Luck, first lap for Haas. Sums it up beautifully. Bring on Netflix season 2. Rich Energy has been a pretty big meme, you have to say, but the last sort of 7 days or so has been a very strange, just weird thing to watch on their Twitter account. Just saying that they've broken partnership with Haas, and then it's kind of getting cringy now with some of the stuff they're saying, but it's also been very, very odd and slightly entertaining, you have to say. And then Andrew Barca, Hurricane Barca, says Rich Energy's Twitter account after the Haasses make contact on lap 1. And they actually did. They posted something completely slating Haas. Oh, it's a really strange world, because usually sponsors and F1 teams are very much like, yes, we really value the sponsor, coming on board and blah, blah. Rich Energy's like, Haas are rubbish, we want to leave. A great battle in the first few laps was the two Mercedes boys, Valtteri Bottas versus Lewis Hamilton. Bottas maintaining the lead at the start, but Hamilton going balls to the wall. At 14A Oscar, Bottas versus Hamilton. It was a proper duel, and wowee. I think it was lap 4, Hamilton and Bottas side by side at the start of sector 2. Then it cuts to the crowd, which I'll get onto shortly. But then Bottas comes back after Hamilton gets through, goes up the inside at Copse. Any good? He's had his porridge in the morning, isn't he? It was just great to watch, and well, Bottas came up ahead, and then just came out ahead, but then got very unlucky at the safety car later on. Poor guy. But then Hamilton won his home race, so pretty good to watch. Now, that camera cut, my goodness me, I think that might well be the worst camera cut I think I've ever seen. At Clan Bidness, when Hamilton and Bottas are fighting, and the cameraman cuts to the crowd. They are literally side by side, and F1 director goes, "Oh mate, can we just move over to the other camera now? We just want to see the crowd." The crowd are like, kind of watching, and we're there like, we don't want to watch the crowd. It was a mistake. We'll move on. Pierre Gasly has had a rather tough time in the press, hasn't he? He has not performed, and you have to say it's kind of deserved criticism, but my goodness me. Pierre Gasly, shout out to you, my man. You were absolutely brilliant. There or thereabouts with Verstappen, you have to say, if you compare it to other performances. At MG Dal Hidan says, when Gasly overtakes Vettel, I know. I was like, firstly, I was like, wow, Pierre Gasly is still on the train for 3rd place. And then he just storms up the inside of Vettel. Brilliant. Great to see. At King Jibs 98, Gasly finally fighting. One of my favourite gifs ever, that. So it had to go in. It had to go in. I know I have so many favourite gifts, but this is one of them. Okay. Now, if we look back to Austria, Leclerc got a little bit of criticism for not maybe defending as well as he maybe should have on lap 69 of the Grand Prix. Now, he learned his lesson for Silverstone, didn't he? At Aaron Lucas 49, Leclerc learned to close that door on Verstappen. There are quite a few tweets that we're going to mention for this, because it was just one of the most epic battles I have seen for a very long time, and it is very much setting in stone this rivalry between Verstappen and Leclerc, which they have had since karting. I cannot wait to see how this unfolds. At Steve65462, thinking of all the future battles between Verstappen and Leclerc. There is going to be some fire, I tell you that. There is going to be some controversy. There might be a few fisticuffs, but Verstappen, I think, has learnt this lesson after having to do community service after his last scuffle with Esteban Ocon. This one kind of covers the whole sort of first 20, or actually no, it even happened after the safety car, but mainly the first 20 laps. At Sucheth9, the fight between the Red Bulls and Ferraris. Now, if we did not have the Mercedes like we had in Austria, where they just overheated and were really nowhere, that could have been for the lead. Imagine the scenes if that was for the lead. Some of the tight overtakes. The one that really got me was Verstappen slipstreaming Leclerc going down Hangar Straight and then trying to go up the inside of actually one car width up into Stowe, and they were millimetres away. Millimetres. Then Leclerc obviously swooped round the outside because it was a more optimal line, but whew, I still have not gotten over that. Mental. And finally, this one made me laugh quite a lot. BJL_91, Max Verstappen's front wing be like, because there was a great shot where it was actually showing the front wing look, and you could see how close he was getting to the back of Leclerc, to the side of Leclerc. It was a great camera angle, and I was like that, not just his front wing, everyone was sweating. It was brilliant. At Chartastic17, actual footage of Perez running into Hulkenberg. That was quite a desperate attempt to overtake, wasn't it? He kind of saw that there was a little bit going on. The midfield was obviously crazy once again. And, you know, he kind of saw the attempt. I think Ricciardo had just got past Hulkenberg and he was like, I'm coming as well. Didn't work at all, not even close. You saw him lock up, bounce over the curb a little bit, boom. What is happening to Sport Pace and Racing Point Formula One team? The only thing I know is their name. They're not really doing anything else in Formula One at the moment. Nowhere near the points. Now, the stewards have also received quite a lot of criticism over the last few weeks, but you have to say, for the British Grand Prix, they weren't too bad. At James Ward G, when race control makes a quick steward's decision. Have they changed their approach? Have they had like a little internal meeting? Because I think that whole Verstappen-Leclerc battle, there was a lot of barging. I think Leclerc was fine, especially that one into the penultimate corner where he sort of wheel banged. But then Verstappen kind of just stayed off the track the whole way and then regained the position. But I love that. I love the fact that they weren't penalised, because it was pretty much 50-50, giving it some, giving it back. And they used some common sense, so I'm proud of them. I think this next tweet kind of sums up how I feel just presenting the British Grand Prix, because so much was happening. I'm probably going to have forgotten something, so I apologise in advance. At Mopliv95, can't keep up with all this racing. What is happening? Now, that popcorn gif has featured quite a few times, but I think it really sums up most of us watching, just going, can I have another Verstappen-Leclerc fight, please? It is just... I'm running out of superlatives. Those first 20 laps were just epically, incredibly delectable. They were tasty. Now, I know I wasn't going to say much more about Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, but there were so many tweets I feel like I would be underrepresenting you if I don't do it, maybe a couple more. At Panache_F1, things are personal between Verstappen and Leclerc. If you look at them back when they were karting, they still had that same rivalry. There's an amazing video where they were interviewed after a race and had an incident, and I think it was the other way around to what it was in Austria. And it's just great to see that they've had this rivalry for so long. Could it be another Senna and Prost? You know, it could go that way. They're both very heated individuals, especially Verstappen. I've run out of superlatives. It is going to be lovely. At Matt_BamBang, Verstappen and Leclerc gently tapping each other since Austria like. It is going to end in chaos. That is it. That's the end of the Verstappen-Leclerc. It was an amazing battle. Pretty much sums up the whole of the British Grand Prix. If it wasn't for them, it probably wouldn't have gone down as an amazing race, but those two made it, and it's not going to be gently tapping for too much longer, I can guarantee you that. Move of the race, there were quite a few of them, but it has to be Charles Leclerc on Gasly. At Lost Libertine, that pass from Leclerc on Gasly, that gif is a close number 2 for this week's episode, but what a move. Obviously, Gasly kind of defending the inside, braking quite early, I think, to hit the apex, but Charles was like, nah, I'm going all the way around the outside, mate. You do not see many around the outside overtakes at Farm Curve, I think it was. I think Martin Brundle just went, wow. Just wow. Speaking of gently tapping, Sebastian Vettel decided he was going to do the complete opposite and just destroy Max Verstappen. It's almost like Ferrari sent him on a mission and was like, no, just take him off, just lock up. Obviously he didn't, that's, you know, not getting my tinfoil hat on and giving out a conspiracy. But at CJ Fight 64, Sebastian has become the torpedo. Now I feel a little bit sorry for Sebastian Vettel. I feel like, obviously I know it's his fault. It was him to blame. He came over the team radio straight away. I was like, oh, what was he doing? And then was probably sat in the car like, yeah, that was my fault. But at the same time, it was similar to the Ricciardo Verstappen incident. Once that move was made by Max, Seb couldn't do anything. He lost braking performance. You know, he wouldn't have had the same aerodynamics going through the car, and you just can't brake. We saw that with Ricciardo. We see it again with Vettel. So I'm just amazed that they both survived. Really, I don't know how they survived. I think Verstappen was still catching Gasly by the end. At NKSN MFT, how are they both still running after that? I'm glad I'm not the only one that was thinking that. Now this one is my favourite GIF of the entire weekend. It's just beautifully summed up. At Paztet Z, wait, Paztet Z Kanapka. There you go, quality content. Leclerc passing Verstappen and Vettel after they crashed. Just a red car, it's two, it's just perfect. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Favourite one of the video. At Amir_Hafaji, Vettel to Verstappen. He didn't take out two cars, but it kind of gives you the idea of the speed difference that Vettel was taking into that corner. Silly boy, he should not have gone for that move, especially on Max Verstappen. He kind of does this weaving thing where you don't know if he's going to defend the inside or go to the outside, the racing line, but it's just a silly move to try and attempt on. I know, I say silly, but I know that probably in his head, you know, he's thinking if I don't get back past, Max is going to romp off. So I appreciate the attempt, but it was a very bad attempt. After all of that battling with the Ferraris and the Red Bulls, it kind of started to slow down a little bit, and the second half of the race wasn't particularly exciting because of Giovinazzi basically ruining the battle for the win, because Hamilton was going to stay out longer, potentially go for a one-stop. Bottas maybe would have then tried to have caught him. Who knows? But at Dimitris QWERTY comes in with something that, well, it wasn't particularly race-changing, but it was an interesting conversation that Hamilton was having with his team. Mercedes on whether to pit Lewis or not. Lewis was set on not pitting, and fair play. He still got fastest lap at the end of the race. How? How has he done that on 30-odd lap-old hard tyres? Bottas pitted again. Social Media Team Championship time now, and let's begin in third place. Now, I'm stretching the rules slightly, but it's just to give this team a point even after all of this abuse. It's of course Haas and Rich Energy. So we have obviously the two cars colliding, having the worst start to a race possible, and then Rich Energy came in with great start, boys. Now I am not saying that they should continue the insults. In fact, I think it was quite harsh. The picture's quite funny, but at the same time, it's just Rich Energy trying to get some sort of attention. But I'm going to give a point to Haas purely because they deserve it, and they don't deserve to be going through this turmoil, which it must be. So there you go. In second place, this one was actually rather funny. It was from Sport Pacer Racing Point Formula One team, and they came in with a reply to Formula One saying how they line up for the 70th British Grand Prix, and it was a list of the qualifying results. Sport Pacer Racing Point came in with that fantastic gift. So yeah, taking the mick out of themselves, but it's nice to see. And finally, the winners of the Social Media Team Championship for the British Grand Prix. It's not because it's funny or witty, it's because it's a special tweet. It is Rocket Williams Racing. Now this is an amazing video to watch, and I think that you should go and watch it if you haven't already. A very special hot lap to mark a very special occasion for a very special man. It is of course Sir Frank Williams going out with Lewis Hamilton for a couple of hot laps. It's a brilliant tweet, and a lot of effort's gone into it, so it has to get maximum points.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
It's Race Rundown time now, and I am very tired. And I think I'm going to struggle, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's do this. Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, Gasly, Verstappen, Sainz, Ricciardo. Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, Gasly. Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, Gasly. Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, Gasly, Verstappen, Sainz, Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Kvyat, Hulkenberg, Norris, Albon, Stroll, Russell, Kubica, Vettel, Perez. Boom, 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 boobity boom. Race rundown done. Boobity boom. I did it, Rory. Woo! The non-finishers were three very long names, so I'm going to have really fun here. Let's do it. Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Magnussen. Oh my God, that's a really difficult thing to say really quickly. Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Magnussen. Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Magnussen. And that is it for the internet's best reactions for the British Grand Prix. We are done. Silverstone, you have been amazing. 5 more years, maybe even more. I cannot wait to go back next year. It was a sensational experience. I also want to give a shout out to all the WTF1 fans that said hello to us Friday, Saturday or Sunday. The Sunday meet and greet was particularly special. The amount of people that came and said hello, you are all very, very special, and we will not forget that day for a very long time. If you want to get involved next time, use the hashtag WTF1 on social media, and we will choose the very best ones to be featured right here. That's it. 2 weeks' time, we have Germany Hockenheim. Hopefully it'll be 3 and 3 of amazing races. That's it. I'm Matt with WTF1, and we'll see you next time.